Hi everyone, my name is Jeanette. I'm CEO and founder of Locality Point.
My name's David. I thought that I was the CEO and the founder, but
No, I'm the CEO and founder.
well, we can both be CEO and founders.
Okay, do titles even matter?
I don't think so. I guess we can just say we're in this together.
Okay, we can be like CEOA, you can be CAOB, and I can be like founder.
You can just be my co-founder.
Okay, all right. We're all here for the same purpose, and we're excited to announce what Locality Point is and why we're here for one common cause and one common reason why we've united together to be able to bring this to our local communities.
Yes, we're very excited for Locality Point and the impact it can have in the local community.
Awesome. So you're all probably wondering, why do we love going to local markets? Why do you love going to local markets? Why do you love supporting local communities, small businesses? David, tell me why you like going to local markets.
Well, it's always a great question, and thank you for asking. I love going to local markets because of the food, right? So you're always gonna find something new. Of course, you're gonna have the usuals, right? You're gonna have some lemonade, some teas, some probably some candied nuts like pecans or of those. But sometimes you'll have something different, like if you're in a region where there's an influence of Hispanic food, you're gonna have some churros, or you might even have something that's more prevalent in that community. You never know.
I love churros.
Yeah. So what do you like about the markets, Jeanette?
So what do I love about markets? There's so many reasons why I love markets. I think one of my favorite parts about going to a market is, just getting to network and connect with all these small businesses. I mean, they all have a story. They're all very gifted. I can honestly tell you that they're so crafty. I mean, they become so creative in certain things. Like we bought this frame that was like very detailed, like 3D with all this. Remember, like the one we got with the little prayer.
Yeah.
So I thought was really awesome. Like just and I asked the vendor, I'm like, how long did it take you to do this? And she's like, 3 to 4 hours. I'm like, what? Just one is 3 to 4 hours?
It's very detailed.
And I'm like, and then I did the math in my head. I was like, wow, like is it you're undercharging? You should be charging more for your labor, because it was so beautiful and it was very inexpensive. Like I could have bought in all of them if I wanted to because they were very affordable, very beautiful. I mean, they were beautiful like ways of giving gifts back. And I think that every time we go to a local market, you always find this artistic side of individuals that you probably don't often get to see on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And just as you see it in the arts and crafts, I think I relate to the artistry in the food.
Oh yeah. Okay, let me think about play time that had a really delicious food that let me see. Let me think.
You're thinking too hard because I always find a great snack.
I know you do. So many times. I feel like we always go out to eat there, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I save my calories to find something good to eat there.
Mhm.
So there's so many reasons why we create Locality Point. You're probably wondering, so why did you create Locality Point, or why are you wanting to do this? What's the purpose? David,
Yes.
tell us why Locality Point was created.
Yeah, absolutely. So Locality Point was created to support local small businesses. We also wanted to support local pop-ups and markets. We also wanted to support and ease the search process of users trying to find these markets. And I know, Janae, you had a few other key points as well, why we wanted to create this.
So I think one of the things I've actually found out is going that most of these, pop-up events are being posted in social media platforms. And they're set up in groups. And one of the things I found out is I was doing my search, if I was a vendor, the search process of actually looking up for pop-up events, I came across a lot of flyers that were like scams. Like people were copying other event flyers and then they were trying to request money from vendors or small businesses to pay for fees, even though they weren't even running an event. So the increase in scams were there. It was difficult to even look for events because now you have to scroll through all the group messaging of like that group to find out to see what events were there. And I think it was kind of like, you know, you already have you're already making time to run this small business, and now you're trying to scroll through everything to see what events are available and to see if you qualify for the events. Because like for here in the DFW area, depending where the event is at, you do have to get permission, to register to sell at certain events. Whether you're in Dallas or Garland or Colony in the Denton County area, they'll have their own set rules. So for me as a vendor or small business, I would love to be able to just kind of scroll down. I want to sell next weekend. I'll click on that date and see what's available for me in that area without having to be spending time through social media platforms to see what's a scam and what's not a scam. Another thing is that when you submit some of these flyers on the groups like on social media platforms, you have to send a message, and now the person is like, oh, send me a messenger message so I can give you more information. And then you're like, well, what's your messenger account, or like how do I find you? So then you're confused, and well, I'm confused. So it's kind of just so much other. You're already kind of stressing out about starting a small business or running a small business. I'm trying to stress out which vendor event you can do, because your goal is to be able to reach out to as many locals who might be interested in your product. And as a organizer who's setting up these pop-up events, you want to be able to get the word out there more. So why not create a platform where we can create it specifically for marketers, marketeers, and locals, where we can all connect together for a common goal to support one another.
So why did we choose Locality Point, Jeanette? Um, as far as the name, I know we wanted it to be something centralized, something that when you talked about it or thought about it, it brought to mind a central location, a point maybe on a map or, you know.
Definitely, I think it was one of the things is like, well, what's our purpose of this? And our purpose was to create a centralized location where vendors, events, and locals can connect with each other and support one another. And I think when you think about that centralized location, you think about like that point of like a location of anywhere. So we say, why not find something that's like a point, and then locality would be like a local, like your local community, supporting one another. And I think this is where we kind of brainstormed so many ideas, and we said, that's it.
We did. We said
Let's try it again. We said,
that's it.
that's it.
That's the point.
That's it. That's the point we're trying to make. So why not make it Locality Point?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So David, tell me about a time that you bought something at a local market that you found it to be meaningful and connected to you.
That's a great question, Jeanette. What comes to mind just right off the top of my head is actually, I don't think it was actually a purchase for me. It was actually a gift for one of my brothers. We were at a local market. Um, it was actually just kind of a fundraiser what we were trying to do, and there was a vendor who specialized in art, and he very similar to Photoshop, but he created art, custom artwork with the face of a luchador, which always came to mind when I thought about one of my brothers, because that's one of the things he loved to watch growing up. And this particular luchador that he used in a lot of his artwork was what happened to be one of his favorites. So I instantly saw it and I had to purchase it, and it ended up being his gift.
My question, what was his reaction when he saw it?
That's even a great question. It hasn't been mailed.
Oh my, you still have it?
I still have it.
2023 gift or
It's
2024 gift?
It's turning into his Christmas gift.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's awesome.
So Jeanette, same question to you. What's something that you've purchased at a market that has been meaningful to you?
That's a great question. You didn't give me time to think about it, so now you're gonna have to like talk.
That's
think about it.
that's the best way to do it. I mean, just something that kind of holds a, sentimental value, or something that you kind of think about, you know, from our most recent markets, that because we go to quite a few. And, part of the reason why we decided to figure out a way to help everybody enjoy the markets just as much as we do without struggling to find them like we've had to struggle in the past.
It's just struggling because I think there's been so many times that I found something that's been meaningful to me. Um, I mean, I love earrings and I buy a lot of earrings, but that's not more meaningful. That's more kind of something that I enjoy having. But if I have to relate, is we came across this vendor who happened to be an artist, and she has beautiful painting. She does like 3D painting, and David and I have a nickname. And one of the things I asked her, I was like, "Would you be able to recreate like a panda and like this creature, like a dinosaur, And she's like, "Oh yeah, like I can imagine the panda holding like the little T-Rex here in her hand." And like, by the way, she had like all these ideas, and I was like, "I love it." And she's like, "Who is that for?" I'm like, "For me." And she's like, "Oh, this is so great." So the fact that she kind of took my idea and my thought of what I wanted, she just made it into her own and brought meaning to me because I wanted to create, or I wanted to have something that kind of connected us, and we could actually have in our home. And this lovely artist who happens to be a vendor and run a small little business just was very like talented, and I think I had so much respect for that because I wish I could just like pop something in my head and create something, be like, yes, but I don't.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yes, it's very sentimental to us, as as a
yeah.
gift,
I'm a big,
personal.
I'm a big fan of pandas. I don't know if y'all noticed, but go pandas! All right.
Right. So, we've kind of hit on quite a few times of why one of the major driving factors of us wanting to create this platform, and it was, helping the user, or the person who wants to go support local businesses, find these markets with ease, right? We want to make it easier for people to connect. But Jeanette, I know something that stuck out to you was helping these small businesses, gain exposure, reach these people in the community. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe a vendor you might have spoken to and some of the struggles they go through?
I think first of all, I want to share an experience for myself as being a vendor in the past is that there was this event where it was like a pop-up and I signed up for it. I signed up for it and I was like, oh, this is great. There's still slots or spots there. So I signed up for the event. And then the day of the event, I set up, I was all excited, kind of like nervous, and like it was like a 5 or 6 hour event or something, and only like 5 or 6 people showed up. And I think one of the biggest things is that the event organizer probably couldn't get enough people to come to the event because there's so many other events going on, or people were not aware of the event. And when it's like in certain locations, sometimes it's difficult to get people there. So I can honestly tell you from a first-hand experience is that I saw these vendors there, including myself, and like we have very limited attendance there. As a vendor, I think the biggest struggle is that you make time out of your busy schedule to set up and be there most for so many hours, and also you're paying fees to be there. They're not free pop-up events. And then at the end of the day, if you have no sales, you don't even cover your spot. So that's one thing I've noticed. As a small business, I would have to say that I've come across vendors and small business owners who are trying to get exposure in these pop-up events. And I came across this lady who I asked her, like, like, do you find it difficult to connect with people here? Like, is it easy for you to like get people to come to the events? And I remember that she actually was really smart lady. She said, I have business cards here, but I know that people throw them out. So she got really creative, and on her little arts, she would put the label with her business on it. So make sure it's like, well, if they really like my stuff, they're gonna remember, oh, look, there's the label of my business and how to contact me, which I thought was really awesome. But I think one thing that we've seen is that each business is different. There's different businesses that can be a little more competitive than others. Some events you see people selling the same thing, so now you're competing with other vendors.
Mhm.
And then, as a vendor, you have to promote a lot through social media to get people to come to your event. So why not create this platform where it's already created for these events and these vendors, and locals are already looking and searching for those events versus trying to pull from social media, see who sees it, who doesn't. You're having to have your friends share the events to see so they can share to somebody else. But if we have one centralized platform, then you already know where to look for it. And let's say next weekend's coming up and you have nothing to do, it's like, oh, let me go see what's local market or pop-up events I can support, you know?
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. Not only are you gonna be able to find these markets with ease, but we're also gonna give you the ability to find these vendors with ease. And what I mean by that is, if you like this particular artwork that a vendor is selling, they usually go to more than one market. So with our Locality Point app, you're also gonna have the ability to locate where they're gonna be selling at that particular time.
And I think that's one of the greatest things. For example, like there's this lady who makes amazing chocolates, and I know that she's like this chocolatier who is like a chef who like goes to certain pop-up events, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of where she's at, and I'm like, oh, I'm craving her chocolate.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool that we could put these vendors directory there where they can submit like their business link to contact them, and also post the dates that they're gonna be in certain events, so it'd be easier to find them. It'll be like, oh, they're gonna be here, here, and here, versus trying to like scroll down and find out where you can find them. I think it's such a cool idea. And as a vendor myself in the past, as a supporting local communities in the past and present, I feel like it's such a great idea to just be able to connect everybody together and be all for the common cause, supporting one another. And whether you're an organizer for the event or you're a vendor starting and you don't know where to start and you have questions, we want to be able to help you and support you through your growth. And as a local, I want locals to be willing to want to go support these local markets and not have to be trying to like Google which pop-up event I need to go, because I already know to go through this app and find them there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome.
Mhm.
So we are very excited to be part of this new venture, a place where we can connect with marketers, marketeers, and locals.
Yes, and this isn't the first time you've heard us use the term marketer. Jeanette, could you tell us a little bit more of what is a marketer and what it means to Locality Point?
So, we're trying to figure out like how can we represent each part of this community we're building, and we said why not call them marketers. So the way we define marketers here is a person or an organization who is setting up these events, whether it's a pop-up event, a market event, any sort of event. That's what we're going to refer as marketers.
Right, so it's gonna be the organizer, right?
Yes, the
And
organizer of
then
events.
something that sounds very similar, could you elaborate a little bit more on a marketeer?
So marketeer, I love marketeer, or I think I'm
The
pronouncing
term,
it right, marketeer.
the term is fun to say.
It's fun to say
It
it,
is.
marketeers. So marketeers are refers to the small business owners or the vendors within the markets, the ones who are selling the goods and services. We decided to name them marketeers, and I think it's we have the marketers, the ones who set up the events. Then we have the marketeers, the ones who are selling the goods and services.
Right, and you know, not only because it's part of our name, but we also mentioned a third group here that we're addressing, and that's the locals. So, what does actually locals mean?
So locals for us, a locality point is actually our potential customers and our current future customers that might come to locality point looking to support small businesses and these pop-up events and market events. And I felt like locals was a good way to connect with everybody within your local community. So I said, you know what? I am a local, you're a local, and I am local for markets and pop-up events and
Yeah,
small businesses.
that's a great way to put it. Why not be a local in whichever market or area you're trying to go shopping?
That's right. And I think we're trying to decide how we distinguish every single one of them and how they connect with one another is the way we decided to set it up. So welcome marketers, welcome marketeers. Let me rephrase this. Welcome marketers, welcome marketeers, and welcome locals to Locality Point, a place we can all connect with one another and support each other in our local communities.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome. Mhm. So now we presented to you about Locality Point and why we decided to create this platform. We need your support to connect with other marketers, marketeers, and locals who may be interested in being part of this community. I think it's important to spread the word because the more we get involved, the more we can be able to create this community where we can connect with one another.
Yes, this is your cue. We need your support.
We need your support.
Yes.
We need your
We
support.
even have Panda support in the back.
That's right. I think this is a great platform. I think it's gonna be able to help businesses grow, help find vendors that we'd love to support, be able to support events and have a centralized location where we can know we can connect with one another. And I think the biggest thing is we want the word to be spread out.
Yeah, spread the word. This is your opportunity to spread the word as your community members and locals.
One of the things that we want to share with you is that we're going to continue to do these videos to share with you our process to making our vision reality. It's like you start baby steps, you have an idea, then you create the idea, you have the vision. We want this vision to become a reality. And for it to become a reality, we need your support. Every single one of you who wants to be part of this community, we welcome you to be part of this amazing new venture.
Yeah, every like, every comment, every share helps. So spread the word.
Yay!
Yeah.
You thought the camera had.
I thought it was yeah, I thought it was frozen.
It's not frozen. We're still here. Spread the word. Till next time.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.